Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Okay, so for today I'm going to discuss on our tutorial questions for chapter 8. Okay, I'm going to divide this into two parts. Okay, so this is the first part, and mind that I'm not going to discuss all questions, but I will discuss some questions that I think are quite important on the on your understandings of few parts of this chapter. Okay, so just few examples that are important. Okay, right, and the rest of the question you're gonna finish that on your own. Okay, so let's discuss on the first question. That is question number 8. Okay, so for question number 8, what we're gonna do first is let's look at this question together. Okay, so you are now given this following function. Okay, for the function of gx defined for absolute x minus 1 if x is less than -1. Okay, and it is defined for 0 if x is equals to -1, and it is defined for 1 minus x if x is greater than -1. Okay, so let's try to solve this question. Okay, the question that you need to answer is to find the limit of gx when x approaching -1 from the right and also from the left, and finally find the limit for gx when x approaching -1. Okay, so the first one for question A. Okay, so you have to check for the limit of x approaching -1 from the right. Okay, for the function of gx. So what we're gonna do is you akan check dekat sini which one is the defined function for gx where x is from the right lah, right of -1. So from the right it is meaning that it's greater than. Okay, so we're taking this part. Okay, x is greater than -1. So function yang kita akan ambil is limit for x approaching -1 from the right. Kita akan ambil function 1 minus x. Okay, so bila kita substitute dekat sini -1 pada x, kita akan dapat 1 plus 1, so that is equals to 2. Okay, and for question B, now we want to check for the limit of x approaching -1 from the left. Okay, from the left meaning that is for the value of x less than -1. So function kita akan define pada, okay, so x approaching -1 from the left define on the absolute of x minus 1. Okay, so if we substitute -1 here, kita akan dapat -1 minus 1, so that is gonna be -2, and absolute value that is going to be 2. Okay, and for part C, we want to find for the limit of x approaching -1. Okay, so tadi kita dah check for gx, so limit of x approaching -1 dia sama dengan if we have limit of x approaching -1 from the right of gx, and also limit x approaching -1 from the left of gx. Okay, so kita tengok dekat sini value dia sama kan, both from right and left is equals to 2. That is why our limit is also equals to 2 for x approaching -1. Okay, so that is question number 8. Now proceed with question number 9. What we have over here is kita kena cari nilai value untuk m and n. Okay, so that these two limits of x approaching 3 and x approaching 4 for fx exist. Okay, so dia bagilah piecewise function dekat sini. Okay, so apa yang kita akan buat is first step kita check balik dekat sini for the limit of fx, okay, where x approaching 3 to be defined ataupun to exist, we must check the limit from the left and from the right. Okay, so limit of x approaching 3 from the left of fx, okay, kita check this one and equate that to limit x approaching 3 from the right of fx. Okay, so this limit will be, okay, kita akan ambil nilai, so 3 from the left meaning that is the value for x less than 3, so the function is going to be x. Okay, and 3 from the right, it is greater than 3, so the function will be, okay, limit of x approaching 3 from the right, the function is mx plus n. Okay, so kat sini kita ada first equation. kita gantikan 3, and then meaning that 3 is going to be equals to 3x plus n. Okay, 3x plus n over here. Okay, this is going to be our first equation. Okay, so second equation, we are going to check for the second value that we have, which is for 4. So 4 from the left of fx, we are going to check for the equal of x approaching 4 from the right of the same function of fx. So dekat sini kita check both side lah, meaning that kalau both side tu value sama, okay, that is by definition, kalau both side value sama, then the limit of x approaching 4 exists, right? Okay, so now let us check the function on our piecewise function here. 4 from the left, meaning that x is less than 4. Okay, so kita akan ambil function mx plus n. Okay, and then for limit of x approaching 4 from the right, we are going to have this function of 2x. Okay, so substitute this value, kita akan dapat 4m. Okay, 4m plus n, that is going to be equals to 8. Okay, I think this one should be m, right? For the first equation, it's not x, but this one is m. Let me make correction here. Okay, so this now is going to be our second equation. Okay, so by comparing this one, if we take this first equation, n is going to be equals to 3 minus 3m. So if we substitute over here, 4m plus 3 minus 3m equals to 8. Okay, so if we take over here, then we're gonna get over here 4m minus 3m, that is just m is equals to 5. Okay, so if m is equals to 5, n will be 3 minus 3 times 5, that is going to be negative 12. Okay, and therefore we have our two values, m is equals to 5, okay, and n is equals to negative 12. Okay, so this is the solution for this one. We compare two different of existence of limit for limit approaching x approaching 3 and x approaching 4. Okay, so that is question number 9. Let's try the next one, question number 10. Okay, now we want to determine the value of c. Okay, if limit of x approaching 0 from the left of fx is equals to negative 2. Okay, lepas dah dapat c, cari pula nilai a and b. Kalau diberi limit of fx approaching x approaching 0 and limit of fx or x approaching 2 exists. Okay, so now let's check for the first part. Kita nak determine value of c dulu. Okay, try to follow the steps yang dia bagilah. Bila first question dia cakap determine the value of c, so kita cari value of c dulu. Okay, so to get for the value of c, kita akan cari dekat sini. Okay, limit of x approaching 0 from the left, okay, of fx, that is equals to, so kita check lah what function is that. So 0 from the left, meaning that is less than or equals to 0. So we have this function x cubed minus c. Okay, dia bagi dekat kita that is equals to negative 2. Okay, so when that is equals to negative 2, kalau kita substitute 0 in this function, we have 0 minus c equals to negative 2. So c is actually equals to 2. So done for the first part, c equals to 2. Let's try for the second one. So dia bagi tahu sini x approaching 0 fx, okay, exists, right? Okay, so therefore we have that limit of x approaching 0 from the left of fx is going to be equals to limit of x approaching 0 from the right of fx. Okay, so tadi yang ni adalah untuk less than 0, right? The function is for limit of x approaching 0 from the left, that is x cubed, okay, minus c. C kita dah ada, c is equals to 2, x cubed minus 2. So that is equals to the limit of our x approaching 0 from the right, and the function is, okay, so this one, right? So that is the second one. We have ax squared plus b. Okay, so as we substitute this value over here, kita akan dapat negative 2 equals to, so A is going to be 0 because X we substitute 0, so kita akan dapat nilai B equals to negative 2. Okay, right, so that is the second part. For the next part, kita nak cari nilai A pula lah sebab tadi kita baru cari nilai B. So we are going to use this one. Okay, so limit of X approaching 2 from the left. Okay, so we check the value that is going to be this function. Okay, so let's just write this down first. Limit X from the left and from the right of fx. Okay, approaching 2. So here function akan ambil, okay, 2 from the left, that is going to be ax square plus b. Okay, and that is equals to the limit of x approaching 2 from the right. For the function of x greater than 2, we have 2x plus 2. Okay, and the next one, kita substitute value lah dekat sini. Okay, so a kita tak ada nilai lagi, so 2 squared, that's going to be 4. So we're going to have 4a, and we already have the value for our b, right? B is negative 2, 4a minus 2. So that is equals to 2 times 2, 4, 4 plus 2, 6. Okay, so 4a equals to 8 over here. Okay, and a is going to be equals to 2. Okay, so that is how we got to the value of a, b, and c. I hope that is clear for this one. Thank you.